Hi Team Value, JJ here. Welcome back. Well, today we're going to have a look at what Tom Lee, everybody's perma bull on the market on crypto, is going to say, a prediction about for the rest of the year and into the second half of the year. What's his prediction for the market for the rest of the year? He's a perma bull, as I said, and I'd like to react to him because I don't think he should be predicting so much, but let's see what he's got to say. They like having him on these programs. Let's see.
Tom Lee, Fundstrat Global Advisors, managing partner and a CNBC contributor, but close enough for government work. You're right again. And once again, your rationale was borne out. It was that inflation would continue to cool. It's July 1st. You have a new target for the end of the year, or I've already sort of foreshadowed some of the things you were talking about. The S&P earnings might even be above what you thought.
Yes, I think that now that we're at the mid-year, 2025 earnings look a lot stronger than we thought at the start of the year. We thought maybe 260. It's probably closer to 275, maybe 280, even 285. And I think the multiple we thought originally could be 20 times that number for next year. But given the Fed has more reasons to be dovish, and I think maybe the employment picture is softening, PE multiples actually could be higher next year. So I'd say between now and year end, stocks should be higher. I mean, we've had a strong first half already, and second half won't be as strong as the first half, but we should build upon those gains. So, yeah, it looks pretty good.
The first half's been pretty good, all right. And if we look there, the S&P 500 for a year is up 22.7%. Pretty good. It's been pretty hard to beat the market, unless you've been in these big tech stocks and AI related, of course. It's been a very strong year. It's looking for in the second half of this year to keep going. As he said, this is not investment advice from me. I'm just looking at what Tom Lee's saying. You need to seek your own advice. I don't give recommendations here. It's just for education and general education and entertainment purposes. Let's see if he's got an actual figure who's willing to put on it here.
You have numbers. I mean, so if the S&P is 285, you possibly, that's earnings.
Correct.
285. Up from 270. Because the economy doesn't cool, multiples don't expand. In fact, they might contract from 21 to 20. So if you multiply 20 times 285, you get to 5,800.
Yeah, so that sounds like it would be within reasonable, as a reasonable base case, that stocks don't have to have a prodigious second half. They just have to follow what typically happens in the second half, especially in an election year.
So 5,800 for the year, what would that be the total return of it? It's 15 now, so
so it's it's a little bit more than 20%,
which would be after last year's
24.
So 24% last year, the S&P 500, and another 20% this year. He says that would be it. That would be two really good years after that. So there's a bear market in 2022. Remember, I'm sure you do if you're in the stock market, especially in tech, because a lot of those tech stocks went down, and Tom Lee was wrong during that year because he's a perma bull. And Warren Buffett, one of the reasons I have these videos and I comment on them is because Warren Buffett says you shouldn't predict the market like this. It's impossible to do it consistently. Great investors, super investors like Howard Marks and Warren Buffett, who I've made videos on, and many others do not do that. Some people do. Stan Druckenmiller, he's been very good at that consistently over the years, but only a handful of people can do it consistently over the long term. Might be able to do it over the short term. That's what I think anyway. As I said, not investment advice. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Tom Lee is just making a prediction here. 20% for this year. It has gone, it had a very good year and at 24% last year. So let's see what else he's got to say.
24. That's a couple of years no one really expected, I don't think.
That's right. I mean, that's painful for people who've been sitting in cash for 2 years, earning 5% because they missed out on a 50% gain, and that's 10 years worth of sitting on cash. So
sure, but then people like Warren Buffett have got sitting on nearly $200 billion of cash, and he's happy to wait for the long term. He's done very well over the long term because if the market does crash, for instance, or certain stocks crash, you can go in and buy big. So he does. Rather than working on momentum, like Tom Lee is really talking about here, he waits it out and then goes in and buys big when everybody's running away, running into the fire while others are running away. Anyway, if you're liking this content so far, if you're getting value out of this video, do do hit that like button to help the algorithm to spread it to more people, and do think of subscribing if you're new here to get more of this kind of content in the future. Let's see what else Tom Lee's got to say.
So I think the end of this year is a little bit of a day of reckoning for those who've said, oh, I'm happy with my $6 trillion in cash earning 5%, when in reality, unless the economy is rolling into recession, the expansion will continue for some time.
Is the $6 trillion, and that's what's fueling this, the additional liquidity, people aren't fully invested, was that gotten through organic positive means, or was it gotten through stimulus that shouldn't have been probably legislated and shouldn't have been printed? Is it good money, or is it money that comes home to roost because it's too much?
I haven't deconstructed that, but it's a valid point because, we are running a pretty big fiscal deficit at a time when it's not necessary. There is a lot of earned income on people's assets. I think that accounted for a lot of this increase in cash. And historically, that would have been reinvested in the economy or into equities, but it's been instead earning cash.
You know that my insecurity about crypto.
There we go. He's going to give his Bitcoin prediction for the year. Is it going to be perma-bullish again? Let's see.
Tested itself again in my feet of clay because I said, Tom Lee's going to be absolutely right about the 5,500. Why is he still saying 150 for Bitcoin? Why do that? Why not just focus on stock? Don't stick your neck out because it was falling below 60.
So $62,700 at the moment. So we'll have to see if he's still got this 150,000 for the end of the year, so less than 6 months. By the way, I have done on the Stocks Today with JJ channel, which is relatively new, by the way, if you want to go and check that out. Just the recent video here, Peter Thiel, Bitcoin price won't rise dramatically, Peter Thiel has said, and so he's been a very big supporter of Bitcoin over the years, but he doesn't think it's going to rise dramatically. Go and see that if you want to, and subscribe to that channel if you want to see that kind of video reaction channel there, Stocks Today with JJ. I'll leave a link in the description to that. Let's see what Tom Lee's got to say though about Bitcoin now. Now that we've only got 6 months to go, it has risen quite a lot already this year. Look, Bitcoin is up 104.97, not just this year, but over the past year. Let's see what he's got to say.
60,000. Now it's back to almost 63,000. So that $6 trillion we just talked about, that sort of plays into your Bitcoin thesis.
That's right. Bitcoin's probably suffering from the Mt. Gox, starting distributions in July. That was a huge overhang for many years. But if I was invested in crypto knowing that one of the biggest overhangs is going to disappear in July, I think.
Mind you, we have had the ETF. Don't forget that was this year. The Bitcoin ETFs that came out, that was huge. And Peter Thiel did talk about that. Said that was really the biggest thing going mainstream, and he was hoping to go mainstream.
I think it's a reason to actually expect a pretty sharp rebound in the second half. So I think 150 is still within.
It's already July 1st, so that's so you're not taking that off the table. That's still a possibility.
That's right. And one thing to keep in mind, Bitcoin makes most of its gains with 10 days every year. If you take out the 10 best days in a single year, Bitcoin actually has negative returns.
It can rocket. That's true. It can rocket Bitcoin, of course. We've seen that many times, but it can rocket on the way down as well. So we'll have to see what Tom Lee, as I said, perma-bull, and that's what he's got to say. Now, I do have more to say about these things. Over on the Art of Value Patreon, we talk over there about several things. Many things. So I would give a weekly investing update here once a week. I do that, things that I don't share anywhere else. And you can also get videos on there, even if you're a free member. So you can join there. You get all of the public videos that I do on this channel, obviously ad free and early access, usually quite a few hours earlier. And also I've started the stock analysis secret sauce. I've done 2 videos so far. I'm doing 1 a week there, starting right back at the beginning. If you want some stock analysis, kind of education there, just general education right back to the beginning. We've done 1 on the 3 approaches to investing. That's number 1. And number 0, the very first one was about ROAS, return on capital employed. So if you want to hear about that, what that is and why that's important, go and check that out. I think it's pretty good value over there for what I'm doing over there. But you can just join for a month and check it out and see how you go if you want to. And as I said, you can join as a free member. So and I'm going to put a link on the screen here to what YouTube thinks that you should watch next if you're watching on YouTube. And also subscribe to this channel if you want to get more, if you're new here, to get more of this kind of content in the future. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.